Hi there, Scorpio. I'm EllaAradia, and welcome to your November 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Scorpio water signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading. It's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. What I do find, though, is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Scorpio signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. And then, of course, you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Scorpio, let's jump in. Just like to tune into the energies a little bit first, Scorpio, before I start pulling cards. I'd like to see what comes through. I feel a strong invitation for you to step up into something this month. Something needs to go to the next level. And, you know, that could be a relationship, a project, your career. For some of you, it may simply be about you showing up in a different way. I feel like some kind of significant chapter has, recently come to a close. And, what I see in front of you is this really big energy of expansion and, a possibility for some kind of fresh start or things to go to the next level in some way. So with your overall energy is the Eight of Pentacles, which is all about, you putting the work in and putting the work in with a view to getting something back from that. For some of you, this may actually be perhaps, career related. You may be studying something new. But it's a card of investment, ultimately, and really looking at who or what do you want to put your energies into moving forwards. What lies in your recent past, the Nine of Pentacles. So we've got a lot of earth energy here. So for many of you, this is going to be career related. And the feeling I get from this is for many of you, you've already been working on something for some time. And this is the energy of, just beginning to see, the results of, whatever this is you've been, putting that hard work into. And I just keep hearing the words, don't falter at the last hurdle. And, because there is this invitation that I'm seeing here around a graduation, moving things to that next level. Let's just look at what's in your challenge. The Chariot. Being fully in your power, because I do feel that there may be some hidden fears or insecurities that might involve perhaps showing up in a certain way, being seen. I do feel sometimes we have a lot of stories that we tell ourselves as to why, we can't do this, we can't do that. And a lot of the time they're just stories, and underneath them there are limiting beliefs or ideas that we might be holding about ourselves, about life, that ultimately keep us from, being fully in our power and in, and in control of our lives and the direction that our lives are going in. So it is important to remember, that you are the creator of your life, you are the orchestrator, and it's really about, taking your power and getting back in the driving seat of your life. fully owning that. So your current energies, we have the King of Wands. Your feelings towards your situation, the world. Now, for some of you that this relates to love, the King of Wands can represent the person that you're dealing with. And, you know, this can be male or female. But it's also an energy of really going after what you want here, Scorpio. And with the world, this is all about what I've just been talking about. You know, it's a card of graduation, of moving things to that next level. It's about endings, beginnings. It's the last card in the major arcana, you know, so it really does represent the ending of a significant chapter and the beginning of a new one. Your hidden influence, the Nine of Cups. Now, I instantly feel a little bit of a guarded energy here, Scorpio. And, you know, this is a card of emotional fulfillment. But sometimes in a love reading, you know, this can be somebody who is kind of saying, I'm okay on my own. I don't really need anybody. And can often be, you know, quite a guarded energy. When you look at the figure on the card, the arms are crossed, the legs are slightly apart. It's definitely this balance around, you know, not being perhaps too open, but at the same time not being closed off, you know, closed off to the point that you perhaps miss out on some kind of new opportunity, whether that is in love or career. Because I do get this guarded energy and I do get these fears around, you know, fully stepping into your power here with the Chariot. And I've just got these kind of beliefs echoing in the back of my mind of, you know, not being good enough, not feeling like you have all the skills, the abilities, the qualities to, you know, really achieve what you truly want in life. That who you are may not be enough in some way. And that is where that fear is coming up around, you know, really owning who you are and stepping into your power and taking the reins. You know, and steering your life, being the one that's steering your life, you know, and just really trusting in yourself, because the Chariot's all about, you know, navigating, you know, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, and, you know, but you being in your power. Your advice from the universe, the Hierophant. You may need to make some kind of commitment here, Scorpio, you know, to whatever this is that you might be working on. It may be about making some kind of move forwards, working through, you know, whatever fears and insecurities there might be, and being, you know, decisive and making a commitment and following through on it. And that can also be, you know, for some of you, in love. You know, whoever this King of Wands is, whoever that represents, whether that's you know, an existing relationship or somebody new that's come into your life, it does very much feel to me that, you know, it's either about making a commitment or moving things to the next level and working through, you know, any fears of opening up, healing the past, healing any past traumas of loss or betrayal, because, you know, the danger here is perhaps about missing out on a new opportunity that is actually going to bring you closer to what you truly want. Because the Hierophant, you know, it does represent commitment, sometimes marriage, but it's also about the kind of connections which are, you know, built on shared values, you know, strong foundations. And in terms of career, you know, the advice of the Hierophant is perhaps to, you know, look at what the tried and tested is, you know, the people that have perhaps walked in your shoes before you in terms of what you might be working towards, and ultimately doing what's right for you. But also, you know, we can use that as a little bit of a guide sometimes to help us, you know, navigate our next steps. So it's a card of faith. And in your outcome, the Empress. And that's you stepping into whatever this new chapter is, Scorpio. And the Empress is, you know, a really abundant energy. It's all about, you know, new beginnings, fertility. It's about growth. It's about really looking at, especially with this Eight of Pentacles, what are you going to nurture moving forwards here? And the most important thing always is to, you know, follow your heart and follow your dreams, follow those goals, go towards them. You know, definitely, you know, with the King of Wands here, that is a call to action to pursue, you know, what you really want in life. And just make sure that you're not letting, you know, any fears or insecurities get the better of you here. So it's time to step into your power, Scorpio. And, you know, as I said at the beginning of the reading, you know, this can be showing up in, you know, many different areas of your life in different ways, different degrees, different intensities, but the theme is the same, which is all about you taking your power back, working through any fears or insecurities that might be limiting you, holding you back this month, and really, you know, stepping up and stepping forward and really going towards, you know, what you truly want and what is going to take you to a better place in yourself and in your life. So Scorpio, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. Thanks so much for being here, and I wish you a great month ahead.